Hey everybody, happy Friday. On this edition of Now, we're in Old Orchard Beach. We're bringing you the sights, the sounds,
and of course, the food. In fact, did you ever wonder how a little potato from Aroostook County becomes one of these delicious pier fries? I don't really care.
This is News Center Now.
So good.
Happy Friday, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Amanda Hill.
And I'm Lee Goldberg, and we are in beautiful Old Orchard Beach. And even if there's a cloud, it's still beautiful Old Orchard Beach.
There are some menacing clouds headed our way, but so far we're sticking with the sun. It's just a little bit breezy, hence the coats.
I'm not scared.
No, we've got a canopy, we've got Steve on the camera,
That's true.
we're fine.
So obviously we're here because it's Maine, it's almost summertime allegedly, and tourism is such a huge part of our state, a multi-billion-dollar industry. So we will be highlighting throughout the course of the month of June on every Friday different kind of tourist locations that really rely on tourism and that people just flock to in droves, and Old Orchard Beach is where we're starting our Friday June schedule, so it's pretty cool. We also, you know, this town is 10,000 people in the winter.
Right.
But then in the summertime, it's closer to 150,000 people. It literally explodes.
And that changes almost overnight. We'll talk to the town manager in a minute, but those wild population shifts are seen in cities and towns all over the state. Here's a look at some of the numbers. Visitation to Maine has grown by about 6% annually for the last 5 years. In a survey of past visitors, half said they planned to return to Maine in 2017. Of the more than 35 million people who traveled to vacation land last year, around 2/3 came during the summer months. The economic impact was almost $9 billion in 2016. That is huge for our state. Now, the full experience is what brings people to this particular destination. You know, we get the food, the pier, lots of fun stuff.
I lost you at food.
Yeah.
I'm stuck on food.
Right.
But any visit to Old Orchard Beach, of course, comes with a trip to Palace Playland. It is the action park.
Yes, and we shockingly sent Chris Costa, our own reporter, out to have some adventure. So he's on a Ferris wheel right now. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Lee and Amanda. You know, it may come as a surprise. The Pier and Palace Playland, two of these iconic locations here in Old Orchard Beach, are actually privately owned. They're not owned by the city. Joel Golder, who owns Palace Playland, has been doing this for 55 years, operating rides like these. He is literally in the business of fun, as is the owner of the Pier, Paul Goldsbein, whose family has owned that pier for 4 generations. At Old Orchard Beach, fun comes in many forms. Palace Playland is one place you'll find it.
There's been rides here for 115 years.
Joel Golder came here 34 years ago, operating one ride amongst the many, and became the owner in 1996.
You know, circus people have a saying, sawdust in your veins, and I guess I got sawdust in my veins.
Right next door is the Pier. It opened in 1898.
My grandfather was one of the first tenants on the pier.
Paul Goldsbein's family has had its roots in the pier since it opened. Paul grew up in Old Orchard and now owns what was once called the Golden Mile.
I don't look at it as a job. I come to work because I love what I do. And when you love what you do, you'll be good at it.
Paul has seen the good, the bad, and the ugly, including fires and storms that tore his family's pier apart.
It was sad sometimes. I remember the fire.
He's spent his life restoring the heritage of this landmark.
The original towers were rounded tops like they are now. Then there was some fires and some storms that took the towers out and they went to a peak tower.
Paul decided the old design was best.
It was something that brought back history, and I'm a big believer in that, you know. When people say how long you've been here, and I say since 1898, they look at me and go, I know I don't look that old. How many people can say they've been doing business in the same location for over 100 years? What we do here, we sell fun. When you see people leaving with a smile on their face, you know you did it right.
So Paul and Joel, those two owners, I mean, they definitely put a smile on my face today. I know that they are very, very excited for the start of what they hope will be a very busy tourism season here in Old Orchard Beach. And Joel told me a really great line right before we left our interview today. He said, it's not just about Palace Playland or the pier. It's about all of these businesses operating together as a community. So it's really, really cool to see that, the way that this town kind of comes alive in the summer with that new life. So anyway, let's send it back down to you guys down on the beach, Lee and Amanda.
All right. Try not to have too much fun.
I was
going
to say, he's not getting off that Ferris wheel. He's just going to be there for the next couple hours if you're looking for him. So when you come to the pier, when you come to the downtown Old Orchard area, it's all fun and it's all games. But if you're the town manager, it's no fun and all work. Well, maybe it's some fun because there's a lot that goes into this.
Oh, I bet it's still fun. Larry Mead was kind enough to join us out here on the beach. I'm sure that's a tough day for you.
It's hard to come down here. You know, every day I'm about 1 block up the street. And my office has the best view of any town manager in the state because I'm looking out over the ocean right over here and over the pier and out into the island. It's beautiful.
That's not too shabby.
No, I like that.
So obviously there are some amazing things about this town, but I'm sure let's get down to the nitty gritty here and talk about the struggles. One of those being how difficult it is to get seasonal workers here right now.
Well, I think everybody in Maine who's trying to hire temporary people or seasonal people knows what the challenge is, and there's just not as many of them available right now as there has been in the past. We rely a lot on international students and other international workers in Old Orchard Beach, like we do up and down the Maine coast. And we're a little bit fortunate here in Old Orchard Beach in that most of our employers utilize the student workers that come under a student program. The ones who are using the H-2B program, which doesn't mean much to people, are having a more difficult time. And what we can do is tell you what I'm begging for the Secretary of Homeland Services, Department of Homeland Services, to release the students who have been approved, not the students, the international workers have been approved because they have been. We're just waiting for him to give them the go. So.
And it's got to be frustrating for you because you're there to kind of help facilitate the needs of this town. They need workers, and there's only so much you can do because someone else is really making some of those decisions.
Yeah, it's not much the town can do except give encouragement. But our employers, I know from talking to them that they're using as much creative solutions as they possibly can. Some have had to curtail hours at the beginning of the season and are hoping to get it back up to gear. But most of them are going and can go full bore.
So we talked about how you go from about 10,000 people to more than 100,000. Does that put a strain on emergency crews?
Well, it does. We gear up. We have 18 full-time police officers, and we gear up by hiring another 30, attempt to hire another 30, sometime between 25 and 30. So those officers start right in the beginning of May and go through till Labor Day, and a few even go into the end of September. And similarly, we have 25 lifeguards that we put to work here in the summertime to help us with that. So it's a challenge, but this town is used to handling summer crowds. I mean, we've been doing this for over 100 years here. It's not, I'm new to this in terms of being the town manager for 4 years, but other people have been managing to do this. The residents know how it's done. They adjust, and we gear up, and we're ready when people come.
A lot of history here. Larry Mead, thank you so much for joining us.
All right, appreciate your time and enjoy the beach.
Oh, absolutely will.
We know Keith is enjoying the beach. He's up on the pier right now.
How'd he get up there? Come on, Keith.
Yeah, kind of the same day we're seeing everywhere, which is changeable. We went from total sunshine about a half hour ago to cloudy. It's not really stopping the flow of people, trickle of people at least here. Let's have a look at the radar, and you'll see just a ton of showers that have popped up into the mountains and the foothills, and they're kind of driving right to the coastline. What's interesting is that a lot of these are starting to evaporate as they get to the coast, so it's not a lock that in coastal communities you will get these showers, but you can see in our neck of the woods down here towards Old Orchard, there are showers to our west-northwest, and those are very visible, at least in the sky off to the west, and a few showers coming through parts of York and Cumberland County. The showers die down almost as quickly as they began later on this evening, And tomorrow could best be described as an okay day. There's going to be considerable cloudiness around and a few showers, although most of us will end up staying dry through the balance of the day. So not a fantastic day, but certainly not a day where you're going to see a ton of showers popping up around the state either. And it looks like Sunday will start off with a lot of sunshine, but we may deteriorate into some showers there in the afternoon. Real quick, guys, Jeff, if you could pan up there. These are the kind of clouds we're seeing popping up here across southern coastal Maine, and ones that threaten at least to give us a few showers. I'll have the full forecast for you in just a few minutes.
All right, Keith, well, we're going to take a quick snack break because you can't come to the Old Orchard and not have a snack.
I'm sorry, what?
You can't have
What? Yeah, listen, you guys do your thing. I'll just take it from here. We want to know what your favorite beach snack is. Fries, pizza, fried dough, ice cream. Those are your choices. So grab your computer, go to pulse.newscentermaine.com and vote, or you can open up the mobile app on your phone. Hey, thanks for sharing,
So
buddy.
this poll will be live for about a half hour. So show some support for your favorite food, and we'll give you the results at the end of this show.
But 50 degrees, you keep it warmer and keep the sugar level down, keep the starches up, so you get a white fry. So you want a white, crispy fry.
Turning the Maine potato into a French fry. See how it's done after the break.
Plus, there are different kinds of vacations in Old Orchard Beach. Some families choose to rough it. We'll take a look when we come back.
Great, I think. It was great.
Are you hungry yet? Today, while we are down in Old Orchard Beach, we are taking a pulse on the foods you crave in the summer. So what's the best summertime beach snack? You can choose between French fries, ice cream, fried dough, and pizza. Go to pulse.newscentermaine.com or use our mobile apps and choose the Pulse tile. Okay, so this is very much a weather-dependent town in the summertime. So the good news is for a lot of these shops, when it's raining, people like to just shop. The bad news is a lot of people cancel their plans if the weather's bad enough.
Especially if you're involved in campgrounds, right? Like Jason Ahern, who owns Hidden Pines Campground. He says he had about 8% fewer campers than normal during the cold and wet Memorial Day weekend. He's one of many lodging spots in the town, from cottages to motels, so he wants to stand out. This year, they are doing some renovations to a rock wall at the entrance and even rebranding the sign that now reads Camp Happily.
All the businesses that are closed down and in hibernation mode for the winter then are in a mad dash to get ready for an upcoming season, and we go from you know, pretty poor looking properties to beautiful, looks like we've been open year round kind of presence that we try to strive for. So it's quite an undertaking for all the businesses in town.
Now at Hidden Pines, they have more than 4,000 reservations already, but most of the reservations come in last minute because everybody waits to see what the weather is going to be.
A lot of people keep their eyes on the forecast, and we're actually going back to Keith right now because we're starting Braindrops a little bit early. Hurricane season just started, and Keith, Maine doesn't get hit with many hurricanes, but it happens.
It does, you're right. I mean, obviously because of the relatively cooler waters up here, most of the time hurricanes end up as tropical storms or depressions by the time they get here, Hurricane Bob being the last one in the early 90s. The National Hurricane Center came out with an Atlantic Basin seasonal outlook as of yesterday, which was the official beginning of hurricane season. And they're calling for an above average season. And the way they break this down is 11 to 17 named storms. They expect 5 to 9 hurricanes and 2 to 4 major hurricanes. And they do it by probability. So there's a 45% probability that it is an above average season, a 35% probability that it's a normal season, and only a 20% chance, in their opinion, that it is a below average season. It is worth noting that they're pretty good at seasonal predictions as far as the general gist of the season. What it doesn't tell you, though, is where the major hurricanes might make landfall and what kind of tracks you're going to have. So a lot of times you can have a season that has below average numbers, but a big hurricane that impacts a major city, and that's what everybody remembers. Amanda, Lee?
All right, Keith, thank you very much. All right, so we've got over here, we've got some fried dough, some poutine, and some Chinese food. So I'm going to take care of that, and I don't know what you're doing.
I'll just read, I guess. We're going to learn about the humble beginnings of the Pier Fry. Plus, I guess we'll bring Keith back for the full forecast. Okay, just a reminder, this is a very important issue that we are debating right now. It is hotly contested.
Deep dive.
Deep dive. What is your favorite beach snack?
It's a hard one. Right now, more than half of you have chosen French fries. I can't really argue with that. And we know it's a hard choice for some, but this is not a hard choice for our very own Katie Crinkle Cut Ortiz.
Wondered where French fries come from? Well, I went to the county, found out for myself.
In the endless rolling hills of Aroostook County,
We start at 6 o'clock here.
Another day of work begins.
Everybody comes to the shop and everybody disperses. So my job is to make sure everybody goes in the right direction and everybody has what they need to do their job.
Bruce Flewelling leads the pack at Flewelling Farms, just 10 miles from the Canadian border, growing Maine potatoes for the ultimate French fry.
Not realize that this is the seed. This is it.
This is it. Yeah, that's not like a pumpkin seed. We use it's called a vegetative seed.
2 million pounds of seeds are stored here. Cool air flows through vents to keep them from sprouting.
The thing with potatoes, you have to have a clean field to plant them in for the mechanics to work.
That means no rocks, no packed dirt.
So you have to have this ground loosened up so the planter can come through it. So that's what this machine's doing, is loosening the ground up.
Then it begins. Row by row by row, the seeds are plopped down into the earth.
We have a lot of technology. We have GPS positioning that steers the tractors. And all the newer tractors have codes and for their performance. It's a lot of technology now. It's almost easier to launch a shuttle, I think, sometimes.
Each fall, the harvest reveals the finished product. Lots and lots of Maine potatoes.
So what the French fryers are looking for is the length of the potatoes because they want long fries. Another thing we do, we keep these potatoes fairly warm at 50 degrees. But at 50 degrees, you keep it warmer and keep the sugar level down, keep the starches up, so you get a white fry. So you want a white, crispy fry.
All right, now I want to hear from you at home. What is your favorite French fry in Maine? Let us know, and you might see it next time on French Fridays. And don't forget to vote for fries on Pulse. Lee and Amanda, back to you.
Goodbye.
All right, Katie. Okay, so here we are trying out some local flavor. First of all, the Canadian in me loves the poutine.
I've never had that before.
Well, listen, try it.
So,
fries with cheese and gravy.
All right, that actually kind of
try
looks
it.
Both first timers for this.
Oh, you haven't either,
I've never
Adrienne?
in my life.
Okay. Okay.
That's good.
And
Not very good. Also,
Canadians know what it's about.
the Chinese restaurant across from the Carousel, I'll come down here in February if they're open and get Chinese food from these guys. It is so good.
How long have they've been around for a long time?
Decades, 50, 60 years. And then what is without the
fried dough?
Right, exactly.
Makes a mess though.
Exactly.
It's wicked messy.
And of course the pier fries. So
Whatever. We'll do this.
Listen,
Keith, you do weather.
Keith,
we're
maybe
busy.
we'll share.
No, we're not sharing.
Okay, so I brought fries down to Amanda and Lee nicely that I bought with my own money. And Amanda was complaining that I didn't put vinegar on them and that I didn't put salt on them. And I thought you were supposed to enjoy them in their natural state. I thought they were delicious either way. We started to just catch a few raindrops here kind of falling from these mid-level clouds in between bursts of sun. That's the kind of day that it's been thus far. Let's have a look at the radar, and you can see a ton of showers popping statewide. They really started around noon and they're trying to drive their way to the coastline. Some of them are evaporating before they get to the coast. A zoom in on Old Orchard Beach area shows you that most of these are dissolving, but obviously we're catching a few sideways raindrops, probably from the storms that are just to our north and west right there, and a lot of locations are going to deal with showers for the next couple of hours before they settle down with the sunshine. These are driven by the sunlight and how it destabilizes the atmosphere, and as a result, when the sun sets, things start to settle down and you don't deal with the showers quite as much. Temperatures were all over the place. You know, we got into the 70s over southern Maine and across the interior, but then we did drop some temperatures as we got to later in the day. We saw more of those showers popping up, and now you can see we're into the 50s, 50 flat in Berlin. Saranac Lake, by the way, in the 40s today. There's a really cold air mass not far above, not far up in the atmosphere, and it's kind of being tapped into there, not only with our showers, but what's going on down to our north and west as well. So showers dwindle tonight as we head into tomorrow. It's a decent day. It's not fantastic. We are going to see some breaks of sunshine, but we're also going to see some showers with an upper level disturbance. High pressure tries to nudge its way in a little bit more on Sunday, so I think the first half of Sunday is good. Unfortunately, Sunday afternoon clouds roll in, and by Sunday night the rain starts to move in, and it's rainy for Monday and Tuesday. Not a washout both days, but a lot of showers around both of those days. Temperatures held down into the low and mid 50s for highs, and you can see it on our small scale predictive radar that it's got a lot of showers around. They settle down as we head into tomorrow and Sunday morning, and then come back as we head into Sunday afternoon and Sunday night. So that's kind of how the weekend is. It's decent. It certainly isn't the best I've ever seen, but we will get at least periods of sunshine in there. So as far as temperatures go in the next 7 days, you know, you're looking at this trend in which we're having a hard time pushing above average. We're going to keep temperatures below average, at best at average, all the way through mid to late next week when we get back at around 70 degrees or so. Monday and Tuesday are the worst days of the week, unfortunately. And that's kind of been a pattern, Lee and Amanda. I don't know if you've noticed this, that we've been hitting Mondays with rain. Memorial Day was tough. This Monday will be tough. We'll see if we continue that pattern. Hopefully we don't for the next week.
All right, Keith, thank you very much. We are getting down to the wire here on our voting, and it's very important because I have now tasted officially everything that they're selling here, and it's a tie. What is the best summertime beach food in our state? A few minutes left to vote in our poll. Go to pulse.newscentermaine.com or check it out on our mobile apps and click on the Pulse tile.
Meanwhile, if you're now inspired to come visit Old Orchard Beach, we are heading into break, and we're going to leave you with a list of some events that are happening here. We'll be right back.
They got time. They got 20 seconds coming back. It's ready.
Okay, clearly you got a little extra here. By the way, the winner of our Pulse poll, French fries. Lots of people love French fries.
This was great. Thank you, Old Orchard. Thank you for the food. News Center at 5:30 is coming up next. I'm staying right here.